Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir.
Jai Ho.
In our current residence, Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Ho.
Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Gauriya Guruvarga ki jai, Patit Pavana Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Varaha Dev ki jai, Shri Varaha Dwadashi ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
So remember that's close to the harmonium and the drum, so be careful.
Maybe I'll put it up. Devotees,
Mohan Prabhu has already posted.
okay. Please let me know. I don't know how the sound is. We didn't get it together to get the Tampura back yet. So let me know if the sound is okay. I can't, and Sudevi doesn't have it together also to be able to see what's going on because one phone is there and the... We don't have internet yet. Proper. Okay. So... Dandavat Pranama Vaishnavas. Sound is fine? Good. Okay. So we will begin with Mangalacharan. Page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Gucha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Thank you. So Devi found it. I had no idea where it was. Let's see. Okay. And can you arrange some water for me, please? So we will begin Mangalacharan now. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagano Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Shri Mad Bhakti Vedanta Narayani Namine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudaksham Odarya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Kam Shirashan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padam Jindataika Hrindi चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसार नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमः विष्णुपादाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्री श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञान केशवोऽयति नामिने अतिमत्यच्छरित्राय स्वश्रितानंशपालिने जीवदुःखे सदरताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाभ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगम्भिरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तद्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षान्वैराण्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदं जायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दं मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोज राधामदनमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमनो श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीरघुनन्ददेवं प्रेष्ठादिति सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवततस्थितः कर्षन्मेरुस्वनर्गोपि गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादाभक्तिनिर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दमृदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मसंपन्नं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसंकीर्तनम्। हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं कलो नस्त्येव गतिरन्यथा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Dandavat Pranam, all Vaishnavas. We will begin by calling out to Sri Guru for his mercy. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma, page 28 in our Sri Gaudiya Giti Gucha, treasure trove of bhajans by our acharyas. And then, let's see, do we have Jiva Pavana Prabhu posts the bhajans along with their translation and commentary in the comment section of the thread. So if you do not have the book, then you should find it there. Yes, he's there. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu. Shri Guru Charana Padmo Evallabha Kati Sadama. Shri Guru Charana Padmo Evallabha Kati Sadama. Savadhano mate Vando mui savadhano mate Vando mui savadhano mate Vando mui savadhano Jahar prashade bhai he bhavatoriya jai. Jahar prashade bhai he bhavatoriya प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते गुरुमुख पद्मो वाक्यो चित्ते कोरिया ऐक्यो गुरुमुख पद्मो वाक्यो चित्ते कोरिया ऐक्यो आर्ना कोरि हो मने आशा आर्ना कोरि हो मने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तमागति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तमागति ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जाहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जते प्रेम भक्ति जाहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जाहारो चरितो वेदे गाय जाहारो चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया ओ हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया तु अपदे लइनु शरण तु अपदे लइनु शरण एबे जास भूषु त्रिभुवन एबे जास भूषु त्रिभुवन गुरुदेव पतित पावन गुरुदेव पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया तु pade loinu sharano, tua pade loinu sharano, tua pade loinu sharano. Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva, 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 Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, 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 Guru Parampara. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Guru Parampara ki jai. Sudevi, I need your help. I need a little bit of water. Pani de do.
Only got this. Do you want me to put it in a cup?
Yes, please. Now we will call out for the mercy, the blessings, and the compassion of the Vaishnavas.
If you need more, just ask.
Thank you. Did you see my ring?
No?
Oops.
Forever.
Oh, Sudevi, can you also adjust the camera so I'm more to the side and maybe bring it closer so that Thakurji can be seen closer? Just the whole thing forward. I don't mind being a little bit on the side.
Oh, sorry. Bring it back just a little.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone. All right. Is that good?
As long as the Bhagavan is in there. Radhe. Mahaprabhu. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Radhe Radhe. Wait. I'm sliding a little bit this way. Okay. Good. Can you bring it back a little bit more? Sorry. Thank you.
Is it too close up to you?
No, just
How's that? Too much?
5, 4. No, back where it was. Yeah, there. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good.
I hope so.
Let me know.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's better. Thank you. Kripa Karo Vaishnava Thakur, page 40. By Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. If you do not have the book, then you have Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Very, very luckily. So just take advantage of the beautiful seva that he is doing by assisting us with the bhajans. Hare Krishna. Kripa karo Vaishnava Thakura, Kripa karo Vaishnava Thakura, Kripa karo Vaishnava Thakura, Kripa karo Vaishnava Thakura, Sambandha janiya bhajite bhajite অভিমানো হাও দূর সম্বন্ধ জানিও ভজিতে ভজিতে অভিমানো হাও দূর কৃপা করো বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর কৃপা করো বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর আমি তো বৈষ্ণব এই বুদ্ধি হইলে অমানি না হব আমি তো বৈষ্ণব এই বুদ্ধি হইলে অমানি না হব আমি প্রতিষ্ঠা সয়াসি হৃদয় দূষিবে প্রতিষ্ঠা সয়াসি হৃদয় দূষিবে হইব নিরয়গামী হইব নিরয়গামী তোমারও কিঙ্কর আপনে জানিব গুরুয় অভিমান ত্যজি তোমারও কিঙ্কর আপনে জানিব গুরুয় অভিমান ত্যজি তোমারও উচ্ছিষ্ট পদজল রেণু তোমারও উচ্ছিষ্ট পদজল রেণু সদা নিষ্কপতে ভজি সদা নিষ্কপতে ভজি নিজে শ্রেষ্ঠ জানি উচ্ছিষ্টাদি দানে হবে অভিমান ভারো নিজে শ্রেষ্ঠ জানি উচ্ছিষ্টাদি দানে হবে অভিমান ভারো তাই শিষ্য তব থাকিয়া সর্বদা তাই শিষ্য তব থাকিয়া সর্বদা নালইব পূজাকারো নালইব পূজাকারো অমানি মানদ হইলে কীর্তনে অধিকার দিবে তুমি অমানি মানদ হইলে কীর্তনে অধিকার দিবে তুমি তোমার চরণে নিষ্কপতে আমি তোমার চরণে নিষ্কপতে আমি কাঁদিয়া লুটিব ভূমি কাঁদিয়া লুটিব ভূমি তোমার চরণে নিষ্কপতে আমি কাঁদিয়া লুটিব ভূমি কাঁদিয়া লুটিব ভূমি ও কৃপা করো বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর কৃপা করো বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর ও বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর প্রভু কৃপা করো মোরে দয়া করো প্রভু কৃপা করো মোরে দয়া করো প্রভু কৃপা করো মোরে দয়া করো প্রভু কৃপা করো মোরে দয়া Vaishnava Thakur's ki jai. Today, I heard something very interesting by my good friend Amarendra Prabhu. He was speaking about sadhu sangha, the kind of sadhus that we are petitioning to for receiving mercy. He said it's different than the sadhaka, who is a practitioner who's praying for something. A true sadhu is one who has attained his sadhya or goal, and therefore they can help us to also attain that. So he was actually quoting Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, that when he is using that word sadhu, it does not just mean the general rank and file practicing devotee, but it means associating with pure devotees or those persons who are far senior to ourselves, who can uplift us from our current status. So when we hear about praying to Vaishnavas or Gurudev, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, sadhus, sadhu sangha, think about it this way. Can one micro moment of association, we just look at ourselves, just place yourself in front of the mirror. Can one micro moment of association with me bring one to complete perfection? I don't think so. So then, that verse does not necessarily apply to this persona who is absorbed also in all kinds of abhinivesh, or mundane contemplations. Thoughts about everything not necessarily related to bhakti. So when we look at these verses and these prayers, we should understand who they're truly applying to. When we hear that one micro moment, lavamatra literally means 1/11th of a second. So 1/11th of a second of association with such a personality can bring that person who's associating with them to complete perfection. Then what must the qualification, the quality of that person be? So when we hear these terms, we should understand that there's a difference between those who are heavy, saturated with transcendental sentiments, and those who are light, means not very saturated with transcendental sentiments, but heavily saturated in Maya. So because Maya is technically that which is not, then like a hot air balloon, it is very light. It has no substance to it, really. So I just thought it was interesting, that concept of real sadhu sangha, as opposed to the idea of getting together with a bunch of friends who might all be on the same level, and maybe we might be on the kindergarten level, and we cannot help each other beyond that level, but we can encourage each other to take shelter from those who are beyond that level, especially those who actually can truly help us, not just those who might be in grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3, but those who are masters. And that's why we call them spiritual masters. Masters of spirit, of the path, which brings us back to our eternal goal, or our hope and aspiration. So when we hear that term spiritual master, sometimes we use it loosely. Oh yeah, my spiritual master. But if you think about the term spiritual, one, and master, they've mastered the spirit. It means they're self-realized. They've also mastered, in essence, the Supreme Spirit. How? By their love and affection, He has come under their control. As we say in that bhajan, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakti aache. Oh Vaishnava Thakur, Krishna is yours. You can give Krishna. This is within your power. How can we say that to them? Because by their love and affection, Krishna is always residing within their heart, and He's been trapped in their heart, within the prison of their heart, by their love and affection. As the Supreme Lord said to Durvasa, Sadhava hridaya mahyam, sadhava hridaya tvaham, aham bhakta paradhina. I don't know anyone but my devotees. They do not know anyone but me. I am not at all independent. Rather, I am subjugated by the love and affection of my devotees. So that kind of quality, that kind of personality, we should pray for their association, aspire to come into their association. So when we are chanting these bhajans, remember who has manifested these bhajans from their own heart. And if they're praying like this, Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, etc., if they are praying like this, then what kind of personality are they praying to? And so if we're praying to the person who's composing this bhajan, from their own heart, this is their own bhajan, please allow one particle of the mood in which you have manifested this, manifest in my heart. Then we would also be praying, in essence, through them for the kind of association they are praying for. So it's not just necessarily, I'm going to use this term, please forgive me, run of the mill. It's a term in English which means the general association that we can get very easily from those who might be just like ourselves. Meaning, those who might still be trying to keep a comfortable balance between their material and their spiritual lives, or maybe even an uncomfortable balance where 90% is mundane and a few, 10%, if that, if we're lucky, is spiritual. So if we're only associating with those kinds of personalities, we won't be able to make adequate progress on the path of devotion. In order to increase on the path of devotion, then we must take association with real, pure bhaktas. And from their mercy, from their association, bhakta sanjataya bhaktya. From that, then what is inside will be awakened by their mercy. So I don't want to speak too long between bhajans because today we have Story Day. It's not just a story, it's an amazingly awesome history. Today is the appearance day of Lord Varaha, incarnation of Vishnu. So now we're going to call out for the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami. Yankali Rupa Sharira Nadharata, page 47 in our Bhajan Treasure Trove. For this one I like the Tampura because it's Malcolm's. Yankali Rupa Shariran Nadharata, Yankali Rupa Shariran Nadharata, Yankali Rupa Shariran Nadharata, Yankali Mahanidhi Kutharika, Tanbraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutharika, Konakapata Ugharata, Konakapata Ugharata, Yankali Rupa Yankali Rupa Sharira Nirahangano Pano Vidhayono Nirakira Hangsano Pano Vidhayono Ona Pritaka Kari Payato Ona Pritaka Kari Payato O Sabbatyaji Bhaji Vrindavan O Sabbatyaji Bhaji Vrindavan O Sabba Grantha Virachito O Sabba Grantha Virachito Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata Jab Pittuvano Pula Halatanana Vidho Jab Pittuvano Pula Halatanana Vidho Manoraji Arovinda Manoraji Arovinda Somadhukar Vinu Pan Kon Janato Somadhukar Vinu Pan Kon Janato Vidyamano Karibandha Vidyamano Karibandha Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata O Janato Mathura Vrindavano O Janato Mathura Vrindavano O Janato Vrajanito O Janato Vrajanito O Janato Radha Madhavarati O Janato Radha Madhavarati O Janato Soitrito O Janato Soitrito Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata Yankari Rupa Sharira Nadharata Jakar Charana Prasade Sakala Jano Jakar Charana Prasade Sakala Jano Gai Gavai Sukha Pavato Gai Gavai Sukha Pavato Charana Kamale Sharanagata Madho Charana Kamale Sharanagata Madho Tava Mahima Uralagata Tava Mahima Uralagata Yankali Rupa Sharira Nadharata Yankali Rupa Sharira Nadharata Tanbraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika Tanbraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika Tanbraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika Tanbraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika Kona Kapa Konakapat Ugharto Konakapat Ugharto Yankali Rupa Shariro Nadharato Yankali Rupa Shariro Nadharato Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Jai Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Rupa Goswami Prabhu Rupa Goswami Prabhu He 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 Srila Rupa Goswami Pad Ki Jai Shri Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Sudevi, can you do me a favor and turn on this light? It might shine brighter on Thakurji.
Looks like this. Better?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
We haven't set up their own internal lights yet. Everything takes its time. I'm realizing how every little thing, every little screw, every little bit of tape and everything, it's just time consuming. I just need to remember that while spending time doing anything, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Be careful what you wish for. Maybe the sound is better because the mic is right here. So now we will call out for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose day is coming tomorrow. So what an exciting week this is. There was, who was it? Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Ekadashi, Varahadvarashi, Nityananda Trayodashi. What comes after that? So many holy days in a row. It's just amazing. Okay. Jaya Jaya Nityananda, Rohini Kumar, page 64, by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumaro Patita Udharo Lagi Dubahu Pasar Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumaro Patita Udharo ধারো লাগি দুবাহু পসার গদ গদ মধুর মধুর ইয়াধো বল যারে দেখে তারে প্রেমে ধরি দেয় কোল গদ গদ মধুর মধুর ইয়াধো বল যারে দেখে তারে প্রেমে ধরি দেয় কোল দগমগলোচন ঘুরয়ে নিরন্তর সোনার কমলে যেন তীরায়ে ভ্রমর দগমগলোচন ঘুরয়ে নিরন্তর সোনার কমলে যেন তীরায়ে ভ্রমর দয়ারো ঠাকুর নিতাই পর দুঃখ জানে দয়ারো ঠাকুর নিতাই পর দুঃখ জানে হরিনাম মাল গাঁথি দিল জগ জনে হরিনামের মালা গাঁথি দিল জগ জনে পাপি পসন্দি যত করিল দলন পাপি পসন্দি যত করিল দলন দিনহীন জানে কইলা প্রেম বিতরণ দিনহীন জানে কইলা প্রেম বিতরণ আহারে গৌরাঙ্গ বলি পরে ভূমি তলে আহারে গৌরাঙ্গ বলি পরে ভূমি তলে শরীর ভিজিল নিতায়ের নয়নের জলে শরীর ভিজিল নিতায়ের নয়নের জলে বৃন্দাবন দাস মনে এই বিচারিল বৃন্দাবন দাস মনে এই বিচারিল ধরণী উপরে কিবা সুমেরু পরিল ধরণী উপরে কিবা সুমেরু পরিল ও জয় জয় নিত্যানন্দ রোহিণী কুমার জয় জয় নিত্যানন্দ রোহিণী কুমার পতিত উদ্ধার লাগি দুবাহু পসার পতিত উদ্ধার লাগি দুবাহু পসার জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় নিত্যানন্দ রাম नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम नित्य है 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 जय नित्य गौरांग नित्य गौरांग नित्य गौरांग जय नित्य गौरांग नित्य गौरांग जय नित्य गौरांग नित्य गौरांग जय नित्य गौरांग पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय. Yes, imagine getting a hug from Nityananda Ram. He was randomly running around and hugging people. I think the possibility is very great. And he did come in the form of my Gurudev. And once When he first arrived in Salt Spring Island, I was playing mridanga and leading kirtan, and he just seemed so excited and so happy. He came close to me and I didn't know what was going on, and he just put his arm around me and grabbed me and pulled me close while I was playing mridanga and leading kirtan. So he hugged me. So I imagine something. Now we will call out for the mercy and grace of Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Okay. Thank you. Where's the one? Emon Goranga Bina Nahi Ar, page 69 by Srila Premananda Das Thakur. Hemon Gorango Bina Nahi Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar. Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar. Heno yobotar habe ki hoyeche, heno prema parochar. Heno yobotar habe ki hoyeche, heno prema parochar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar, emon Gorango bina nahi aar. Duramati yati patita pashandi prane namari lokare. Duramati yati patita pashandi prane namari lokare. Hari nama diya hridaya shodhilo, Hari nama diya hridaya shodhilo, jachi giya ghare ghare, jachi giya ghare ghare. Bhava virinchiro vanchito je premo, jagate pelilo dhali. Bhava virinchiro vanchito je premo, jagate pelilo dhali. Kangale paiya Khailo nachiya, Kangale paiya Khailo nachiya, Bajaiya karo তালি বাজাইও করো তালি হাসিয়া কান্দিয়া প্রেমে গদাগদি পুলকে ব্যাপিল অঙ্গ হাসিয়া কান্দিয়া প্রেমে গদাগদি পুলকে ব্যাপিল অঙ্গ চন্দালে ভ্রমণে করে কোলাকুনি চন্দালে ব্রাহ্মণে করে কোলাকুনি কবে বাছিল এ রঙ্গ কবে বাছিল এ রঙ্গ রাখিয়া হাকিয়া কোল কর তালে গাইয়া ঘাইয়া ফিরে রাখিয়া হাকিয়া কোল কর তলে গাইয়া ধাইয়া ফিরে দেখিয়া সমন তরাস পাইয়া দেখিয়া সমন তরস পাইয়া কপাট হানিল দ্বারে কপাট হানিল দ্বারে এ তিন ভুবন আনন্দে ভরিল উঠিল মঙ্গল শোর তিন ভুবন আনন্দে ভরিল উঠিল মঙ্গল কহে প্রেমানন্দে এমন গৌরাঙ্গে কহে প্রেমানন্দ এমন গৌরাঙ্গে রতিনা জন্মিল মোর রতিনা জন্মিল মোর এমন গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আরে মন গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি এমন গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আরে মন গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি হেন অবতার তবে কি হয়েছে হেন প্রেম পরচার হেন অবতার হবে কি হয়েছে হেন প্রেম পরচার হেম গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আর হেম গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আর গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আর হেম গৌরাঙ্গ বিনা নাহি আর সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি গৌর হে 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 प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। Now we will call out to Shri Dashavatar. Starting with Pralaya Payodhi Jale Dritavanasi Vedam. page 349 in our Bhajan Treasure Trove. Otherwise, it will be posted by Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Because today is the appearance day of Lord Varaha. Oh, I think I saw a question earlier. Who was it? Miles Mukunda. Let me just check back. How is the times of appearance days calculated from other yugas? Today, Varaha appearance day. Example. Okay. So, the sages have calculated, according to Vedic astrology, Surya Siddhanta and other versions, the Tithi. This is a time period. It is a particular conjunction of planets, the position of the sun in relation to the position of the moon, and all of these things. So that time period is known as a Tithi. And in that time period, according to history, they will mention Varahadev appeared at this particular constellation, this particular Tithi or time period. And so, where we might look at our solar calendar and we observe our birthdays by the year according to the solar day. My birthday, for example, is the 2nd of February. In America, that's Groundhog's Day. You know, the one that comes out of the ground 2 weeks before the end of winter and then goes back to sleep because he's too tired and doesn't want to deal with the cold. So I observe it, meaning people go, happy birthday, because Facebook reminds them every year on February 2nd. However, according to Vedic time or the lunar calendar, we observe all of our holy days. So we observe the days of Krishna, days of Ekadashi, days of the avatars, days of our Gurudevs and Vaishnavas, all on the lunar Tithi. So sometimes, like we know that our Gurudev departed on the 29th of December, but different years we might observe the disappearance festival 1 week earlier or 1 week later, or maybe even 2 weeks, according to the time period. So Ekadashi is also calculated like that. It is a transcendental manifestation which takes place according to that time period. So although it was the appearance of Lord Varaha many, many eons ago, and many different Varahadevs have appeared, still that Tithi or that transcendental time period is recognized, acknowledged, and written about in Shastra. And so when we see that same Tithi, that same constellation time period, then we acknowledge that that is the time to remember and glorify the appearance of and the pastimes of the Lord in this particular form. So that's how they're able to calculate it. Janardhan, are you also born on the 2nd of February? Oh, it's too cold. Didi. So now we're going to call out Sri Dashavatara Stotram by Sri Jayadev Goswami. Keshava Drita. Keshava. Krishna himself is appearing in all of these different forms. Pralayapayodhi jale dritavana sivedam vihita vahitra charitram makedam Pralayapayodhi jale dritavana sivedam vihita vahitra charitram makedam Keshavadrita Meena Shariro Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jagadish Hare. Keshavadrita Meena Shariro Jaya Jagadish Hare. Jaya Jagadish Hare. Jaya Jagadish Hare. Kshitiriha Vipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishthe Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Garishte. Kshitiriha Vipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishthe Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Garishte. Keshavadrita Kurma Shariro Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Kurma Shariro Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagana. Vasati Dashana Shikhare Dharani Tavalagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagana. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava Kara Kamala Vare Nakamadbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubringam. Tava Kara Kamala Vare Nakhamadbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubringam. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Chalayasi Vikramane Balimadbhutavaman Padanakhanira Janita Janapavan. Chalayasi Vikramane Balimadbhutavaman Padanakhanira Janita Janapavan. Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshavadrito Vamana Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Kshatriya Rudhira Maye Jagarapagato Papam, Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam, Kshatriya Rudhira Maye Jagarapagato Papam, Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam, Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Ditarasi Dikshurane Dikapati Kamaniyam, Dashamukhamali Balim Ramaniyam, Vitarasi Dikshurane Dikpati Kamaniyam, Dashamukhamali Balim Ramaniyam, Keshavadrita Rama Shariro, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshavadrita Rama Shariro, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Vahasi Vapushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabham, Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamunabham, Vahasi Vapushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabham, Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamunabham, Keshavadrita Haladhara Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshavadrita Haladhara Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Nindasya Vidhe Ahaha Shruti Jatam, Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashughatam, Nindasya Vidhe Ahaha Shruti Jatam, Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashughatam, Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Lechani Vahani Dhani Kalayasi Karovalum Dhumaketumi Vakim Api Karalum Lechani Vahani Dhani Kalayasi Karovalum Dhumaketumi Vakim Api Karalum Keshavadrita Kalki Shariro Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Kalki Shariro Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Shri Jayadeva Kaveri Damuditam Mudarum Shrinu Shubhadam Sukadam Bhavasaram Shri Jayadeva Kaveri Damuditam Mudaram Shrinu Shubhadam Sukadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidharupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Dashavidharupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Varahadev Jaya Varahadev, Varahadev Jaya Varahadev, Jaya Varahadev Jaya Varahadev, Varahadev Jaya Varahadev, Jaya Varahadev, Varahadev, Varahadev Jaya Varahadev, 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 Varahadev Jaya Varahadev. With this particular kirtan, Shri Dashavatar ki jai. Actually, Shri Krishna Kasyapa ki jai. Many years ago, one devotee was singing this, and at the end they sang Jai Dashavatar, and Gurudev said, no, you shouldn't do this. That's not what Jayadev Goswami is saying here. He's saying, Keshavadritta Meena Sharira, Keshavadritta Kurma Sharira, Keshavadritta Shukararupa, Keshavadritta Narahari Rupa. In other words, Keshava, Krishna himself, is manifesting in all of these pastime forms and performing so many pastimes. He said, so this is actually a glorification of Avatari, that is Krishna or Keshava. And I remember recently we were discussing, can't remember whose day it was, but Srila Gurudev explained that, Srila Gurudev explained that it was Jayadev Goswami's day. Why did Jayadev Goswami put this in the beginning of Gita Govinda, which is so deep and so rasik and so Braj? Why did he place Sri Dashavartha Stotram in the beginning? And Gurudev explained, if someone is being acclaimed as the most powerful wrestler in the world, then that's nice. But if you actually get to watch all of the matches, this one is competing with this one, and the winner then goes to the next best, and then they compete, and then the winner goes like this. So finally, coming to the final peak, the extent, Krishna comes out on the top. And then you understand how great, how wonderful, how sweet Krishna is. So Jayadev Goswami is showing us like this kind of progression and bringing us to that sweetness of Krishna. So he said, instead of saying Jai Dash Avatar, you should say Jai Avatari or Krishna He, Krishna He. And I don't know how to sing this last prayer here. Vedanu jaganti bahate bugolam udbibrate. Oh my God. All right. The word golam means round, circle. Bhugolam. Even if you want black pepper, it's called gul mirch, round black pepper balls. If you want those little round squashes, they call it golwala. So gola means spherical. Vedanu darate jaganti bhate bhugolam udbibrate daityandarayate balim chalayate kshatrakshayam kurbate polastyam jayate halam kalayate karunyam atanbate mlechan murchayate dashakriti krite krishnaya tubhyam namaha. O you who assume these 10 forms, O Krishna, I offer my pranam, my obeisances to you. So in this one we were focusing mainly on Basati Dashana Shikhare Dharani Tabalagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadritta Shukararupa Jai Jagadish Hare. The earth rests on the tip of your tusk, set there like an infinitesimal spot on the face of the waxing moon. O Keshava, who assumed the form of a boar, Varaha, all glories to you, O Lord of the universe, O Hari. So when I was in Vrindavan Gurukul, there was a slightly different version of the tune that I sang. I'll sing that one, and then I'll sing the version that I learned from Krishna Das when we arrived. So it's almost the same. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tavalagna shashini kalanka kaleva.
So it's going to do it again. Keep an eye on it because I can't see it.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I just looked down for a second.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it.
Make sure you get Thakurji in there.
I know, I'm sorry. Is that good? Sorry, everyone. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Radhe Radhe, Dandava Pranam.
Keep an eye on it.
Okay. We don't have our normal internet installed yet, so once things get back to normal, then things will be back. Jai. Okay. So I don't know where we left off. I was telling you the one that I learned in Vrindavan Gurukul. Right? Did you hear that one?
I believe so.
Please tell me. Did you hear the one that I told you from Vrindavan Gurukul? Yes. Okay, did you hear the other one that I learned from, that Krishna Das used to sing? Half of the Krishna Das one, or half of Vrindavan Gurukul. Let me just do them both again. So from Vrindavan Gurukul, Basati dashana shikhare dharani tavalagna Shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshavadrita Shukararupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. And the version that I learned from Krishna Das Prabhu. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tavalagna Shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshavadrita shukararupa Keshavadrita shukararupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So that's the tune that Krishna Das Prabhu would sing whenever he would lead this, the only one I've ever heard him lead. And the other one I learned in Vrindavan Gurukul. Oh, I keep saying Govinda Rupini's name. I don't know if it is the time yet where you are, but for us, today I think is your birthday. Am I incorrect? Am I correct? Happy birthday, Hare Krishna. May all sweet blessings come to you from all Vaishnavas. We'll do a Mangalam Bhavatus in the end. Please remind me, Sudevi. Okay, so Govinda Rupini Devi Dasi. So now we will sing Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, page 343. This time. Oh, it's getting late. Page 343 by Srila Rupa Goswami, followed by Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite, page 341 by Srila Rupa Goswami. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Manasamadhukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande, Manasamadhukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Yadyapi Samadhishu Vidhirapi Pashyati Natavanakhagram Marichim, Yadyapi Samadhishu Vidhirapi Pashyati Natavanakhagram Marichim, Idamichhami nishamyatavachuta Tadapi kripadhuta vichim, Idamichhami nishamyatavachuta Tadapi kripadhuta vichim. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, मानसमधुकरम् अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे मनो मानसमधुकरम् अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे भक्तिरुदञ्चति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि ममति न मात्री भक्तिरुदञ्चति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि ममति न मात्री परमेश्वरता तदपि तवाधिक दुर्गतघटन विधात्री परमेश्वरता तदपि तवाधिक दुर्गतघटन विधात्री कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे मन मानसमधुकरम् अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे मन मानसमधुकरम् अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे अयमविलोलकयाद्य सनातन कलिताधुतरसभारम् अयमविलोलकयाद्य सनातन कलिताधुतरसभारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दिनि विन्दनमधुरिमसारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दिनि विन्दनमधुरिमसारम् कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे मनो मानसमधुकरम् अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे मनो मानसमधुकरमर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमाकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे हे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे जय राधे जय जय माधव दयिते जय राधे जय जय माधव दयिते गोकुलतारुणी मण्डल महेते गोकुलतारुणी मण्डल महेते जय राधे जय जय माधव दयिते ओ राधे जय जय माधव दयिते राधे दामोदर रति वरधन वेशे हरिनिष्कुत वृन्दाविपिनेशे दामोदर रति वरधन वेशे हरिनिष्कुत वृन्दाविपिनेशे जय राधे जय जय माधव दयिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते वृषभानुदधि तव शशिलेखे ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे वृषभानुदधि Nava shashi lekhe lalita sakhi guno ramita vishake radhe karuna gurumayi karuna bharite sannako sanatana varnita charite radhe karuna gurumayi karuna bharite sannako sanatana varnita charite radhe gokula taruni mandala mahite gokula taruni mandala mahite radhe jaya jaya madhava dayite radhe jaya jaya madhava dayite gokula taruni mandala mahite gokula taruni mandala mahite radhe jaya jaya madhava dayite radhe jaya jaya madhava dayite radhe jaya radhe jaya radhe jaya shri radhe jaya radhe jaya radhe jaya radhe jaya shri radhe jaya radhe jaya krishna jaya radhe jaya krishna jaya radhe jaya krishna jaya radhe jaya krishna Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai Vrishabhanandani Shrimati Radharani ki jai. Now we will call out in that prayer which is known for being the one which can awaken prem for the Atma, for Krishna. It is also that one which is calling for the mercy of Krishna and the service to Radha and Krishna. O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. Okay, I can see a conversation going on about Lulu. It should start with Ulu instead of Lulu. So Ulu is the proper name, and that is the sound that Indian ladies, especially Bengali ladies, make when they want to bring auspiciousness at any festival. So if you're at the festival and suddenly you hear this noise, which is like, there's thousands of ladies covering their mouths and like that, it's called Ulu, U-L-U. So it starts here with L-U-L-U, but really it should be U-L-U-L. You do that every morning, for every morning puja. Great. Sudevi?
Yeah.
What Hare Krishna? Okay. It'll be difficult. Maybe it won't. There you go. Ulu, ulu, ulu. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gaur Hari Bol, 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 Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev, 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 Oh Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Patit Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Varaha Deva ki jai, Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanitti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate giring Yat kripatamaham bande Shri Gurung Ninatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarshata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam unto the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashto Tarshata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe 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 Sham.
Radhe 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 Sham. Where's the ulu? There you go. They've been talking about it a lot. I'll keep my eye on this so that in case the 10% runs out, we have a backup. So if the certain amount is finished in the day, then the backup kicks in. So today we are observing the auspicious appearance day of Shri Varaha Dev. Shri Varaha Avatar Ki Jai. On the days of the Lord, and during these special time periods known as tithis, when the Lord appears, it is said that He actually appears. Not only that time, thousands or millions of years before, but He also appears. But where does He appear? He appears in the hearts of His pure devotees who are remembering Him and His pastimes. As Srimad Narayan states in Srimad Bhagavatam, I do not reside in Vaikuntha, nor do I reside in the hearts of the yogis. Where do I reside? O Narad, I reside where my devotees are always remembering and glorifying my names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Naham vasami Vaikunte yoginam hridayena cha madbhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami Narada. So, how does He reside there? When His devotees are speaking about Him, He cannot help but become attracted. This is also His nature. He likes it when they are glorifying Him. Otherwise, He would not say in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. If you always absorb your mind in thinking of me, offer your obeisance, worship me, remember me, glorify me. If you do this, then you are very dear to me. Mam e vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Then you will be very dear to me. So Krishna is speaking like this. Some people think that this is egotistical. They try to apply mundane egotistical ideas onto the transcendental, supreme, rightful ego. He is the one who has the right to have that. And everyone else is His servant. Ekala Ishvara Krishna ar sababritya. There's one Supreme Lord, that is Krishna. He's the supreme controller of everything. Ar sababritya. All others are His servants. So how is it then that Varahadev, is he the servant of Krishna? Yes, actually he is. Although he is non-different from Krishna from one perspective. In Sri Brahma Samhita it is stated Deeparchereva hirasantaramabhyupetya Deepayateva vritahetu samana dharma Yastadrageva hicha vishnutaya vibhati Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. If you take one candle and you light another candle with that, and you light another one and another one, and from those ones light other ones. You know, like when you're lighting birthday candles. Happy birthday, Govinda Rupini. When you're lighting birthday candles on a birthday cake, you take one and someone else, you know, especially if you're coming toward our age, and you have to light a lot. So your friends and family are taking other candles and lighting more, and then from there lighting more, like that. So, from one perspective, you will look and you'll say, well, it's all fire. Which is true. But there's still the first one. The lighter which lit the first candle. Or the match which lit the first. There's something that came before that. The original. So, according to Vishnu Tattva, the Tattva, all are the same in terms of fire. But in terms of rasa, and this is how we can detect, and this is how Mahaprabhu preached. So it's essential to understand the conceptions of tattva, but also rasa. When it's difficult to reconcile something, then one must look at it from both of these conceptions. From both of these, Anjali makes very funny comments. From both of these conceptions, tattva and rasa, and very frequently, reconciliation happens automatically. So, what is the rasa? Well, rasa is telling that although there are so many fires, and fire is fire, and from that perspective there's no difference, still there is the original. What is the original? Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatana Goswami, Krishner Swarup Vichar Shuno Sanatan Advaigyan Tattva Braje Brajendranandan. The supreme non-dual absolute truth is none other than Krishna in Vrindavan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. This is what Mahaprabhu is telling. Advaigyan, the supreme non-dual absolute truth. And from him manifests unlimited forms. Keshava Dritta Meena Sharira, Keshava Dritta Kurma Sharira, Keshava Dritta Varaha Rupa, Shukara Rupa, Keshava Dritta Narahari Rupa. Unlimited, like waves in the ocean. All those little white crests that you can imagine how many are there. We don't know, we can never count. And they're always new and fresh. Unlimited incarnations and manifestations of the Lord are coming. But still, the original, Ramadi Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishthan Nana Vataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ram and all other murtis, means all of the other incarnations, are compared to Kala. What is Kala? Ete Chanksa Kala Pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavistabir Yaeva Nijarupataya Kala Bhi. Again and again this term Kala. What is that? It means phase or portion. So when you have the full moon, Srila Gurudev explained it like this. The moon is always full, but according to different times, we will see the moon manifesting in a certain way. Sometimes we will see the full moon. Sometimes we will see a half moon. Sometimes we will see a very skinny moon, and sometimes we won't see a moon. Anyone who is intelligent will understand that whether you see it or not, whether you see it completely or very skinny, or even the dark moon, still the moon is always there. Only some portion is being shown to me at some certain time. So according to the tattva and the rasa, because this is also rasa. What is the rasa? There's one supreme tattva, and he manifests according to his desires and according to the desires of his devotees in so many different forms. So that is also rasa. So from this perspective, then you will see that Sri Ram, he is known as Maryada Purushottama. He is showing the phase or the aspect of establishing and following proper rules and regulations and etiquette according to Shastra. So he's known as Maryada Purushottam. Krishna is known as Leela Purushottam. That means he is the Supreme Personality of performing beautiful, wondrous, sweet, rasa-laden pastimes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Sachinandan Gaurahari is known as Prem Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of tasting Prem. Prem Ras Niryash Korite Ashvadan Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. He's tasting Prem. And he's also giving it. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. And specifically, what kind of Prem? Whoever gets the answer right gets a piece of Govinda Rupini's birthday cake. What did he want to give? Through Rupa Goswami. What kind of Prem specifically? I'm waiting for the answer. So, I'm not going to answer it. Whoever answers it first. What kind of Prem? Particular. Very good. Oh, which Sudevi is that? Is that you, Sudevi? No. It's the other Sudevi. I tested them the other day. Pure Cow Seva. I tested them. And I was mentioning all of these different... And what's the beginning of that verse? Very good. Unta Ujvala. Okay. I was thinking, every time I meet with them, I test them and test them. Maybe they get scared of coming in front of me, because I'm always testing them. So, Anarpita Chiring Chirar Kunanaya Vitirunakalo Samarpayitum Unatojvala Rasang Sva Bhakti Shriyam. This kind of Prem, what Rupa Goswami came to give, is very specific. Very, very specific. Radha Dasyam, but really it is in the group of Lalita Sakhi under the guidance of Sri Rupa, serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. All of those who are true Rupa Anuga. Radhe Radhe, sorry, back.
Wow, you lost a few. Sorry.
That's okay. Radhe Radhe.
We need proper info.
Hare Krishna. Taruni's there. I think we caught it in time. Yes, it was a 10% thing. Now it's in the extra 50 gigs, so it should hold. Jai, it's nice to see you all back. Everyone's writing back. We're here. Okay, great. I'm still waiting for the other two. No, just kidding. So, last heard, Radha Dasyam under Rupa. Really? Okay. Was that the last you heard? Okay. I'll take it from there. There, 32. I think we need one more. Radhe Radhe. So, what is Rupa? Rupa Anuga means following under the guidance of, in the mood of Rupa Goswami as he's doing bhajan here as a sadhaka, and internally Siddharupena Chatrahi as Sri Rupa Manjari is serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan under the guidance or in the group of Lalita Sakhi. So this is the deepest and truest meaning of Rupa Anuga, and our Gurudev reiterated again and again and again in a way that he really wanted to impress this idea within us, that really this is the nature of all of our Rupa Anuga acharyas, that they are serving like this. So I wanted to come back to the point. Why does the Lord appear in this world? Why does he appear in this world? In one moment, while lying in cosmic sleep as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, without even thinking or batting an eyelid, as easy as it is for us to sweat on a hot day. Without thinking, it's naturally, automatically happening. Unlimited universes are manifesting from the pores of his transcendental form. Unlimited universes. Within each universe were thousands and millions of galaxies, but unlimited universes are manifesting without a second thought. He can create. And in the same way, in his in-breath, just one out-breath, everything goes. And in his in-breath, everything condenses and re-enters into his form, mixes with the primordial substance, and remains within him for the entire duration of his in-breath, and then again outside. Why does he appear in this world? Oh, there are demons. So, does he have to personally appear to kill demons? No. Very easily as it is to destroy or create universes, he can easily destroy demons. It's not a thing for him. Why does he appear? He appears for his own purposes, because he likes to play, and he also appears especially to make his devotees happy. Anugrahaya bhaktanam, because he has so much affection for his devotees. And what do his devotees love to do? Matchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantaschamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. They always love to remember Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. So he manifests these beautiful pastimes for the devotees so that the devotees can always speak about, remember, and glorify him. This also makes the devotee happy. So for the devotee, he is doing this. Otherwise, he doesn't need to come. So, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, mind you, the katha which I am telling you, which I have collected from our Gurudev and our Guru Varga and from Srimad Bhagavatam, what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam and the histories that we get, as I told you the other day, it comes from many different pastimes of the Lord. And sometimes they piece it together. They're telling little bits from here and there, what is happening in this universe or that universe, or in previous kalpas, days of Brahma, or in different manus. Then they somehow compile it all together. In Srila Prabhupada's own purports there, he's telling that Jiva Goswami has explained this, that Ila is mentioned in terms of Mother Earth. So at that time it was the Manu who is presiding over, so Ila Vritta Manu. And then there's another one which is a different Manu, which the pastimes are taking place. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also confirmed. So we were speaking about this the other day in terms of kalpa bhed, difference between different kalpas. And that's how we were able to justify whether or not Kalki will appear in this particular Kali Yuga, because sometimes different yugas are mentioned and lumped together. So from that perspective, then we can understand. So I just wanted to share because it was in the section of Varahadev where this tattva is established, if you're reading in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, a long, long, long time ago, something happened. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma has many children for the purpose of creating population in this universe. I have to check the time so I don't go too long. And those personalities are called progenitors. So they populate the world on the order of their father, Brahma. And his function is also to do such things, to populate the earth and all of the species. At that time, by the power of Kam Gayatri, what he has received from Krishna is awakened within him the power to create, and then he creates all of the species within this world. This is the function of Brahma, but he's not the original person. So from that, Brahma has created, and then from him there are so many different Prajapatis. From one of these Prajapatis came Kasyapa, and Kasyapa is married to Didi. So Didi, it is said that she had desired to copulate with her husband. But her husband told her it was not the right time. It was the time for him to do his chanting and his mantras. It was evening time. It was the evening sandhya. And he wanted to focus his mind on the Lord. But she was persistent. She kept pressuring him. And he didn't want to break, but as any couple would know, this would be very difficult for anyone to maintain their mindset at such a time. So he decided to satisfy her desires. But he became quite upset. He told her, I'm very upset because at this time I wanted to do my spiritual activities and you took me away from my spiritual activities for the sensual enjoyment. The children that will be manifested in your womb will have demonic temperaments. And they will be creating holy hell terror in the world. And she became completely upset, freaked out, and she wanted any reprieve from this kind of curse. And he then told her, but they will be killed by Vishnu himself. So that was the reprieve from this curse. There's a lesson in this. One should not disturb someone's spiritual practice to engage in mundane activities. It will always have inauspicious results. Also, there are auspicious and important times for conceiving, and this is called a sanskar, for conceiving. And if we take into consideration all of these things, then it can be auspicious. Even chanting in advance and praying for any good soul to descend who will be a bhakta, who will have devotional temperament. All of these things, they play into things. So, Kasyapa's wife, Didi, she was carrying within her twins. I want to jump back a little bit. So once upon a time, long before that, 4 sons of Brahma who were very, very young. Well, they looked young. They looked like 5 years old, these boys. Quite naked, no worries for anything. They were the firstborn children of Brahma and they did not want to engage in any mundane activity. So by their mystic strength, they kept themselves in the forms of 5-year-old boys so that lust would never touch them. So these 4 are known as the 4 Kumaras, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanat, and Sanat Kumar. So from these 4, they were able to travel everywhere at will by their mystic power. And they had no lust or anything, but they were Brahmavadis. I don't want to give too much information, but Brahmavadi means they're absorbed in the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. So these 4 had gone to Vaikuntha and they wanted to have darshan of Narayan. They were stopped there at the gates of Vaikuntha by the 2 guards. Does anyone know the names of those guards? Whoever knows the name of the guards, come on, get a samosa each with 2 different chutneys to try. One can be a dhania chutney and the other one can be tamarind chutney, 3 chutneys, and a tomato chutney. What are the name of the 2 guards of Sriman Narayan? Very good. Taruni 1. So they stopped them and they told them, because these 4 Kumaras said, we want to see Narayan. And they said, you're not qualified. You're not qualified to enter into Vaikuntha. How could you possibly be qualified? You're only young boys. People do austerity for thousands and millions of years to attain Vaikuntha. And these 4 Kumaras, they were very, very great and powerful sages. So they immediately cursed those 2. This must be some kind of mistake. How is it possible that someone like you is here in Vaikuntha, where you are seeing these kind of dualities? Vaikuntha means without that, and you are behaving in such a way. Apparently you're imposters. You're not qualified to be in such a position. We curse you to take birth as demons in the material world. And they were like, what is going on? Immediately, Jai and Vijay were confused. wait a second, we were just cursed to become demons because of our demonic temperament? And the 4 Kumaras they were thinking, what? We just cursed the guards of Narayan? And there was some confusion going on. Immediately, Sriman Narayan appeared. How did he appear? Smiling gently, being fanned with chamaras, under a beautiful parasail umbrella with pearls, white umbrella, twirling a lotus flower in his hand. And he comes forward and everyone's confused. And they were thinking, what's going on? What just happened? And Narayan said, actually, all of this happened because of my own will, my own desire. So there's a little bit of a back history. One time Narayan was resting. He didn't want anyone to disturb. And Jayambijay stopped Lakshmi Devi. So she cursed them also because of that. And so there was some history behind it. So Sriman Narayan, he was speaking and he saw that these 4 Kumaras had been offended by his own 2 guards. And this is a very important thing. Sriman Narayan said, whatever fault is in the servant is a reflection upon the master. It is my responsibility. I take personal responsibility. And if it is necessary to repay you for what my servants have done, I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm to repay you. So he said, just as leprosy, one patch is proof of infecting the whole body, so anything like this, it infects the entire thing. And they are my own parts and parcels. So he had this mood of apology toward the 4 Kumaras. Now, many times devotees, they have this mood. They have this mood, oh, it doesn't matter what I do, it won't affect my Gurudev. It will have no bearing on my Guru or on Krishna or on Mahaprabhu or on Bhakti or anything. But this is not true. We have accepted the path of Bhakti. We have accepted Sri Guru. We have accepted Mahaprabhu's line. We have accepted Krishna as God. Our behavior does affect. It does bring disrepute. Our acharyas have said, I believe it was our Srila Prabhupada, we should behave or act in such a way that no disrepute comes to Krishna or to our Gurudev. And Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj says, if I misbehave, then not only will it reflect on my Gurudev, people will disrespect my Guru, they will disrespect the path that I follow, they will disrespect Mahaprabhu and even Krishna himself, but they will also disrespect my family, my birth family, and everything else, my entire lineage. So there's a lot of responsibility on the individual that I should behave in such a way that glorification comes to my Gurudev, glorification comes to my Guru Parampara, glorification comes to the Lord, not the other way around. So this idea that, oh, whatever I do doesn't matter, that's not true. It does matter, and the Supreme Lord himself proved this point by saying whatever the servant does is the responsibility of the master. I personally take responsibility for what they have done. But because they had been cursed, then they had to accept it. Sometimes we've heard that they were given a choice of 7 lifetimes as devotees or 3 times as demons. Our Gurudev explained that any devotee of the Lord would always, in any situation, accept the position of being devotees. In whatever situation. Kita janmahao jatatu adas pahirmukha brahma nahi mora ash. In whatever situation, even if it is as an insect or worm in the house of your devotee, let me always be where your devotees are. Let me always have devotion for you. This is how the devotee's prayer, this is how they pray to the Lord. It doesn't matter what situation, as long as the Lord is happy and they're able to serve. So they were given this curse 3 times as the enemy of the Lord. How is this possible? The Lord said, actually, I desired to fight. He also has within him the rasa, the flavor of wanting to taste vir, means battle. He likes to fight. This is also within him. And when he fights, he makes sure it's a good fight, right? It's God's fight. It's not any ordinary fight. No mundane, ordinary person can take the role of fighting against God. Who can fight him? Only his devotee, who is near and dear to him. By the potency of his own internal energy, Yoga Maya. As soon as he desires, she makes arrangement for that desire to be fulfilled. Same time. This is his Ichha Shakti, his desire potency. When the desire comes, boom, immediately that desire is fulfilled. So what happened? He desired to fight. And the nature of the devotee is, I want to fulfill the desire of the Lord. This is the nature of the devotee. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavratam anukulyena krishnana shilanam bhaktir uttama. But he wanted a good fight. So Jai and Vijay immediately were inspired within their heart. We want to serve him and please him as he wants to be served and pleased. And so by this, the entire interaction took place. We should understand that no one can actually fall from Vaikuntha. Srila Prabhupada writes it very clearly in his purport, because Yudhishthira Maharaj was going, wait a second. It's not possible. I don't believe it. I cannot accept that someone can actually fall from Vaikuntha. And the answer was given right there. It is a fact that no one can fall from Vaikuntha. Maybe Jiva Pavana Prabhu, you can post that quote there. No one can fall from Vaikuntha. So, by the will of the Lord, by his own internal potency, this is not Mahamaya, this is by the influence of Yoga Maya, the four Kumaras were offended by Jai and Vijay. The four Kumaras cursed Jai and Vijay to take birth in the material world as demons. And so they accepted that curse. Our Srila Gurudev explained, in some manifestation they went to the material world. There's no way that any curse can actually touch an eternal associate of the Lord. And they also remained there in Vaikuntha in their original form. So it was like manifestations of themselves, taking on the sentiment of demons, not just any demons. These demons were the demons of the demons of the millennium, of the Yuga. More than that. Very intense. So it is said that at that time, when they were descending into the material world, at that time, there were so many inauspicious omens, like animals screaming in fear, cows, milk, instead of milk was blood, deities in the temple were weeping, tears were coming, pus and blood was falling from the sky, all sorts of inauspicious omens. Mercury and Saturn and Mars and Saturn, the planets of war, were all much more powerful than the planets of goodness, which is Mercury and Jupiter, etc. So all inauspicious things were going on. I haven't mentioned all of them. There's a lot. You can read them in Srimad Bhagavatam. So these personalities were in the womb of Didi. And when they were born, it is said, the first one who was born was... Let me just see if you know who the first one who was born is. The first one to get it right wins Mathura Pera, a box of Mathura Pera. It was Srila Prabhupada's favorite. Who was the first who was born of these twins from the womb of Didi? You're giving too much information. Yes, Hiranyaksha. Now the question comes, who was the oldest? Who was the oldest? Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu? Govinda Rupini. The birthday girl got it right. So, according to the Tattva in Srimad Bhagavatam, what is mentioned there, Hiranyakashipu was conceived first, and then Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha manifested first, but the older one, because in Vedic time it is considered according to conception, not according to birth. So Hiranyakashipu was, in essence, older, and because he came out second, he was also more mature, naturally. So Hiranyaksha was considered the younger of the twins. Therefore, he took the position of always being the servitor of his older brother, Hiranyakashipu. So, it is said that when these two were born, immediately they grew to an enormous size. It is said that their forms were like steel framed, and they grew so big that their helmets were practically touching the clouds. They were extremely powerful. Kasyapa named them Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. What does Hiranya mean? Hiranya means gold. Sudevi, what does Kashipu mean?
Soft bed.
And Kashipu means soft bed. What does Aksha mean?
Eyes.
Yes. Hiranya Aksha.
Gold eyes. Lusty for golden women.
It means gold eyes. Always greedy for gold. So this Hiranyaksha, on behalf of his brother, was conquering in all directions, going everywhere, to the demigods, everywhere. He was an especially empowered kind of demon, that kind of person who was suitable to fight with the Lord. So this Hiranyaksha was going everywhere, conquering in all directions, conquering the demigods, conquering everywhere for Hiranyakashipu. And what was he doing? He was also collecting so much gold. Hiranyaksha means eyes of gold. In other words, one who is always greedy for gold. And Hiranyakashipu means gold, and Kashipu means soft bed. Soft bed doesn't mean soft bed. You know, like one of those really nice beds, those hotel kind of beds made of latex or whatever. That's not what Kashipu means. Srila Prabhupada explains that it means pleasures of the flesh. So, Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means pleasures of the flesh. Hiranyaksha means always greedy for gold. Srila Prabhupada explains that because he actually is like the first gold rush. Hiranyaksha was the first real demon to be moving about and creating havoc in the world. And so it was the first gold rush. And due to excessive collection of gold and digging, by his activity, he created a situation where the earth was thrown out of balance. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the earth is spherical, and that it is by the will of the Lord magically floating. But when demons do things like extract oil or gold or so many minerals from deep inside the earth, it creates a situation which creates an imbalance. And that imbalance, like if you have a ball and you move liquid inside it, it flips over. So the imbalance creates all kinds of difficulties. And Srila Prabhupada called the oil drilling also demonic. So he said, what happened as a result of Hiranyaksha's excessive gold collection and digging and creating this kind of problem is the earth lost its balance, fell off of its axis, and literally wasn't able to float properly anymore, and fell into the depths of the Garbhodak ocean. What is the Garbhodak ocean? Garbhodak ocean is what is inside each material universe. So from Karanadakshaya Vishnu comes unlimited universes. And then within each universe, in the womb of, that's called the Garbha, the womb is a Garbha, there's Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And he's lying there on that Garbhodak ocean. Garbhodak ocean is said to be a manifestation of his own perspiration, but we should not think it is anything mundane. It is completely transcendental. And in essence, that is the source of the Ganga. So this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he's lying there on that ocean. But Hiranyaksha had knocked the earth out of its orbit in essence, and the earth fell to the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. And Hiranyaksha was always greedy, looking here and there for a fight. So he was looking here and there. He wanted someone to fight with because that was his nature. He was actually born and made for that purpose, to fight with the Lord. So he was fighting with so many. And just as we mentioned in the beginning with Jayadev Goswami's, what is it called? Dashavatara Stotram, showing all of the different levels of great forms of the Supreme Lord. So as he's moving from place to place and fighting so many, each one is being defeated, but then they're pointing him, now you need to go and fight with the Supreme Lord. So this is also showing the might and strength of Hiranyaksha. So causal ocean is Karanadakshaya Vishnu. And then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying inside each universe. But he's not creating universes from inside the universe. He's maintaining each universe. And then from there, there's another Vishnu, that is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is within a particular section of the universe known as Svetadvip, wherein he is residing on the ocean of Kir Sagar, otherwise known as the ocean of milk. But we're not going to go there right now. So this Hiranyaksha, he was always searching for a fight. But there was a big, big problem. See, Hiranyaksha was not just bound to the earth. They were also conquering the heavens. They were conquering so many planetary systems. Back then, this is how things went down. They were conquering planetary systems. Bali Maharaj also had done that. Hiranyakashipu also had done that. So Hiranyaksha was conquering in all directions, defeating everyone. Everyone used to just disappear, run away when they knew he was coming, because they knew they could not fight him or defeat him. So he was looking for a good fight, and he was eager for it because that's his nature. But there was a problem. The earth had gone to the depths of the Garbhodak ocean, and it is the function of the demigods, and especially Lord Brahma, to make sure that everything within the world is maintained properly. So while Brahma was contemplating what's going on, he was thinking, how can we help get the earth out from the depths of the Garbhodak ocean? It's infinite and undefinable. We cannot, how can we do this? At that point, something amazing happened. From a very particular place came a very small thing. Does anyone know what place it came from and how small it was initially? Ha! Very good. So from his nostril came a small little thing. It says the size of like a thumb or half a thumb. Very small, like a weevil. And then immediately it started growing, massive in size. Immediately. And then they could see it. It looked like a massive boar. First the size of an elephant, and then the size of the entire sky. And they were wondering, what is this? What is this? And then this form, who was so massive, looking like a boar, from up in the sky, pointed his hooves downward and made the most amazing swan dive you could ever imagine, piercing and separating the entire Garbhodak ocean in two. Can you imagine the waves that came from that? As he went down through the Garbhodak ocean. Why was it in the shape of a boar? Because a boar is expert at smelling, sniffing out and detecting anything, even inside dark and sooty places. So he went down further and further, and he found that earth, who was deep, deep down underneath. Apparently everything had been, completely destroyed by the deluge, But anyhow, he wanted to properly situate this earth. In the meantime, this Hiranyaksha was searching everywhere, looking. I want to fight, I want to fight, I want a good fight. And Hiranyaksha was not able to be satisfied. Finally, he went to the kingdom of Varuna. Varuna is the god of water, the demigod of water. And his capital city's name is Vibhavari. So Hiranyaksha went there and started glorifying Varuna as if he was the supreme lord. Demons do this when they want something. You know, once there was someone who wanted to steal from me, and he did manage to do some, and he was really heavily over glorifying me. And I thought, oh, something is weird about this. Like the way he was overtly glorifying. It was just too much. I'm like, nah, something is fishy about this. Something is not right. So Hiranyaksha goes to Varuna Dev. Oh, supreme Lord of everything. You are the most powerful, the greatest. You have so much property and you control so much. I'm looking for a good fight, and I think you would be a worthy adversary. When I smash you, you will be lying dead. You know, warriors, they talk to each other like this. So Hiranyaksha is glorifying him and at the same time saying, I'm going to smash you. Varuna Dev is like, my fighting days are over. Of course you're undefeatable. We're too old now. I used to defeat everyone everywhere. And yes, it's true, but now I don't want to fight anymore. If you really want to be satisfied in fighting, then you should fight with the most ancient person, Vishnu. This will be satisfactory for you. So, although Varuna Dev was a little bit angry, naturally, because he's also a Kshatriya, he held it in, controlled his Vacho and Mana and Krodha Vegam, and sent Hiranyaksha off. You should fight with the oldest person. He will satisfy you, and you will be killed by him for sure. So this made Hiranyaksha very excited. Oh, I'm finally going to have a good fight with somebody. Yeah, he's saying he's going to kill me, but Hiranyaksha was undefeated previously. So, who did he find out from that he could find, or where he could find Vishnu? He found out from Narad Muni. Narad Muni is always expert at somehow bringing about more quickly the glories of the Lord. Like Narad Muni told Kamsa, you don't know which one of the eight children of Devaki will actually be the eighth. Right? Because Krishna is tricky, so maybe he'll just play around with the numbers, and maybe he'll come in number 3 or number 6 or number 7. We don't know. So then Kamsa was like, right. See, the curse was the 8th child of Devaki will be your doom. So Narada Muni wanted to bring about the appearance of the Lord more quickly, so it was already destined that these other ones would be killed. There's a whole history behind it, which we're not going to go into, but Narada Muni is expert at bringing about the appearance of the Lord as quickly as possible. So he tells Hiranyaksha, Vishnu is there in the depths of the Garbhodaka ocean. So Hiranyaksha goes in, dives down deep, and he finds him. And he's like, oh, an amphibious beast. And the Krishna Stories tapes, I always thought it was so funny. Oh, an amphibious beast, like this. And then he starts challenging this form of a boar. Oh, you are Vishnu. Actually, the form of the boar is known as Varaha. Shri Varaha Deva Ki Jai. So Hiranyaksha starts challenging him. Oh, let's have a fight. I will smash you. I will leave you finished. And when I kill you, all of those who are dependent upon you, they will also be finished. Why? Because he's the root of the tree. So he's thinking, if I kill him, then all of the devotees, all of the saints and sages and everyone, they will lose their hope. They will lose everything. They will also be finished. They will dry up. And we will be the undefeated conquerors of the entire universe. So at that point, because the Lord had also desired to fight, Veeras was manifesting within his heart, and he became somewhat angry. Yes, I want to fight with him. And he spoke something back. But then Hiranyaksha started rushing toward him, and Varahadev, with Mother Earth on his tusks, It is said like infinitesimal particle of dust practically on his tusks, began going through the Garbhodak ocean toward the surface. And Hiranyaksha was chasing after him. What kind of fool does not fight when challenged? What kind of kshatriya are you? So he started hurling all sorts of very demeaning things. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, especially for a kshatriya, for one who has known honor, dishonor is worse than death. So Hiranyaksha is going, what kind of fighter are you? Running away from a good fight. But, as a good hero always does, first he rescues that person who needs to be rescued, then he goes and takes care of the other business. So he was rescuing Mother Earth from the depths of the Garbhodak ocean. He brought her to the surface, placed her on the surface of the water, and by his mystic power infused within her the power to float. So she was able to remain in a safe position at that time. And then he turned toward Hiranyaksha. So then the very amazing conversation ensued where they were casting all sorts of kshatriya-like insults at one another. Oh, you will be lying broken, finished, and you will become food for beasts like this in eternal sleep. That kind of hurling back and forth. Then Varahadev started making Hiranyaksha more angry. Hiranyaksha rushed toward him with his club, trying to hit him, but Varahadev moved out of the way. And then a very fierce battle ensued where they were actually hitting each other with their clubs. Now, if you can imagine, Hiranyaksha was so large, his hair was up into the sky. So was Sri Varahadev. Massive, massive personalities. And this amazing fight ensued. What is the purpose of the fight? Really to please the Lord. He wanted to experience this Veeras. As they were fighting, blood was coming, and this was increasing their rage more and more. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, like two bulls fighting over a cow. So it was quite an amazing scene to witness. All who were witnessing it were thinking, wow, this is quite amazing. But as usually happens, the Lord likes to play for a long time, and the demigods previously thought that everything was going to be destroyed. But now they're seeing there's a fight going on. But demons get more powerful as darkness is rising, as darkness is descending. Demons become more and more powerful, and their magic becomes more powerful. So Lord Brahma was like, maybe you shouldn't play around so much, finish him off. And then the other demigods started praying like this as well. So many different weapons were used. One, Hiranyaksha had this trident, very powerful trident, and he threw it so fast it was glowing in the sky. And Varahadev took his chakra and completely destroyed that trident, and Hiranyaksha became very, very upset that he destroyed it like that. There was one time when Hiranyaksha knocked the club of Varaha out of his hand, and it is said that as that club was spinning, it was looking very beautiful and majestic and mystical as it was spinning through the sky. So Hiranyaksha started also doing so much black magic, bringing thousands of military personalities and also blood and pus and hair and stool and all sorts of nasty things were falling from the sky. It was horrific. And Varahadev was fighting with this Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha managed to get some good hits in, but Varahadev, he managed to also get some good hits in. It is said that Hiranyaksha he also had some kind of tusks. Very great demon. So as they were fighting back and forth, finally, Varahadev knocked his club out of his hand, and then he picked it up and offered it back to Hiranyaksha. Ooh, there's nothing more offensive than this. For your opponent to be like, here you go. Come on, let's continue this. It's like, oh, what an insult. Hiranyaksha becomes so angry, he ran toward Varahadev and started punching him on the chest. What did Varahadev do? With a simple flick of his, I was going to say wrist, hoof, he hit Hiranyaksha finally. Where did he hit him? The base of the ear. He hit him right here. It is said that at that point, Hiranyaksha's skeleton basically began to collapse. His eyeballs bulged from his head. And he collapsed, dead. But something happened on the way. Not only did he just fall down, but as he was falling down, dead to the ground at that time, Lord Varaha also gored him with his tusk. Shri Varaha Dev Ki Jai. At that point, all of the demigods were showering flowers and offering so many beautiful prayers. Oh, Varahadev Ki Jai, what a wonderful, beautiful form you've manifested in. So he's manifested in the form of a boar, but we should understand that because he is the Supreme Lord, that form is completely transcendental. It is not mundane. That is the original boar. It is said that the demigods, when they were offering prayers, they're saying that from the hair on his body, some came the original kusha grass. That's why they use kusha grass in offering, because it's considered pure, transcendental. So Varahadev's everything is transcendental, and the Lord can appear in any form that he likes for any purpose. So Varahadev had completely destroyed this Hiranyaksha demon. And after that, there's so many other things which we will save for Narasingha Chaturdasi. But Hiranyaksha was killed and the earth was saved. It so happened that when Varahadev met with Mother Bhumi, that something happened. There was a result of that, and the result of their meeting was one personality who by bad association became a very great demon. His name is Narakasur. So basically he's the son of Varahadev and Bhumi, Mother Earth. And he was okay before, but due to bad association, he became demonic. So Srila Gurudev in this context said, association is everything. If you associate with demons, you will develop a demonic mentality. If you associate with devotees, you will develop a devotional mentality. So Sri Varahadev was this amazing manifestation which took place, who manifested in this world for the pleasure of his devotees and also for his own purpose. Simply because he desired to fight, then manifested Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and then again Ravana and Kumbhakarna, then again Shishupal and Dantabhakra, and then of course again, but not as demons. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Jagai and Madai. So, because the Lord desired to fight, simply this is a very important lesson for us. A devotee is not seeking after his own happiness or pleasure. A devotee is only seeking after pleasing the Lord. And when we look at this history and what happened as a result, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu created a holy hell of a terror in the entire universe. It is said that they were like a fever of meningitis in the head of the world. So if you can imagine, it was just horrific and terrible. But for what purpose? Everything that took place was ultimately because the Supreme Lord simply desired to fight. Just that. And everything else that took place was for his purpose. So as aspiring devotees, we should try to understand that nothing moves, nothing takes place without the sanction of the Lord. And in this case, also devotees were in difficult situations. But the devotee's mood is, and I will quote Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this one, Ashlashyava pararatam pinashtamang Adarshanan marmahatam karotava yatatatava viridhatu lampato mat prananatas tu sevanapara. You are free to do whatever you like, anything and everything. If you want, you can kick me away forever. You can embrace another in front of me, you can embrace me or break my heart. You are free to do whatever you like. It will not change the nature of my love, affection, appreciation, admiration. It will not change. Rather, my love will always increase more and more. There is no condition to it whatsoever. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also praying, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo icha tohar. You can kill me or protect me as you like. This will not change the nature of my relationship to you. You are always my Lord and I am always your servant. Nitya dasa tua prati adhikar. I'm your eternal servant. That is my only qualification. What you want to do with me, what you choose to do with me, that is all good and that is up to you. This is a very difficult thing to accept. But really, when one accepts this, then they can begin the process of sharanagati, of surrender. That I am yours, I am for you, I am from you and for you. And Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj would frequently quote one German philosopher, Hegel. And in that quote, Hegel is saying God by definition is of himself and for himself. Everything has emanated from him. And really everything is ultimately for his purpose. As we mentioned yesterday, he is Sarva Shaktiman. The Supreme Lord is the source of everything. Everything is emanating from him. But what is it for, ultimately? It's all for him. Even the entire material creation, this material world with all of us jivas in it. I read it on the day of, is it Pundarik Vidyanidhi? Srila Gurudev was talking about this idea, about the jivas. Gopal Bhatta Goswami's day. Gopal Bhatta Goswami's day. That, why not? This is also one of the leelas of the Lord. To give mercy, to be compassionate, and to accept and save the fallen conditioned souls. He has that within him as well. So why would he not also have that situation? And we happen to be in such a situation. This is also part of the Leela of the Lord. It is called his Kripa Leela. So it's a hard pill to swallow. The idea that really my function ultimately is only meant eternally to be the servant of God for his purpose exclusively? Yes. Yes. Jivera Swarupahoy Krishner Nitya Das. The intrinsic function of every jiva is that they are the eternal servant of Krishna. And a servant, a real servant, will do anything for their master. Will do whatever is necessary to please and serve their master. In this case, the Supreme Lord desired to fight. Immediately, his own two eternal associates accepted this. The curse which came, they came in this world as demons, created a holy hell of terror in the world, and then afterward, the Lord destroyed them. We cry because we think we are our bodies. But what did Krishna tell Arjuna? Everything has already taken place by my will. You're just my instrument. So do your duty. It's already done. This is what Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the case of the soul moving from one body to another body, we're attached because, well, we're bound in this material world. Bhayam dvitiya biniveshatasyad isharapayasya viparyayo smriti tanmaya yato bura abhajatam bhaktyayikayesham gurudevatatma. Fear arises due to misidentification with the body. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is saying, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptya dhiras tatra namuhyati. Those who are sober-minded, those who understand the truth of the matter, they're not disturbed by the change of bodies. Especially not Bhagavan. He's not concerned about our material bodies. He's concerned about our soul. Why? Because we have a particular flavor of love to offer him. But the shifting from one body to the next and everything, we try to put so much weight on that. But that has been going on forever. If one of Lord Brahma's seconds is 100,000 of our years, and one lifetime of Brahma is 100 of his years, he lives for 300. Our Brahma, who's one of the smallest of all of the Brahmas, lives for 311 trillion, 600 billion plus years. Then how significant is our one little temporary transition from one body to the next to the next? And then why would it matter to Bhagavan, the supreme creator of everything, who simply breathes and unlimited universes manifest and collapse again and manifest and collapse again? So from the perspective of the Vaishnavas, if he's desiring to fight and all of these things are going on, then my function is to serve his will, and I must accept what his will is. This is something I'm talking about theoretically because, well, I'm not there yet. Maybe one day, by the mercy of Sri Guru, by the mercy of our Guru Varga, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, then we can come to that kind of understanding. But it's something I've been meditating on over the years quite a lot. It's not about Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. It's simply that the Lord desired to fight, and everything else manifested accordingly. That is why the pure devotees, the Uttam Bhagavats, they don't see that anything is wrong ever. They see that everything is going on perfectly and everything is ultimately serving the Lord. That's why we don't normally accept them as our Diksha Gurus, because we require someone to help us to adjust. That is unfavorable for bhakti, that is favorable for bhakti. So then we accept the Madhyam Bhagavat Vaishnava, who awakens bhakti in our heart, and they give us discrimination so that we can move forward on the path of bhakti. I don't know if the earth was created in 7 days of Brahma. I'm not sure. But I do know that Brahma, as during the time of creation, by the power of the mantra which he received through the Kling Shabda, the sound vibration of Kling which manifested from Krishna's flute. This is how Brahma was initiated. And from that he was given the power, that was the root of the Kam Gayatri. And from that he was given the potency to be able to create everything within this material world. And during that period of time, whatever thought would come to him would manifest. So he would think and create, maybe a bumblebee, boom, it would come, a bird, boom. Whatever he would think, it would manifest in that form. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? From this perspective, definitely the chicken. At least two. And then from there, the species were populated. So Brahma is thinking. When you look at it on the timeline, according to the rocks and everything else, perhaps for every second, it's 100,000 of our years. Oh, look at the timeline. It makes sense from that perspective. But we're not going to go there. So we are insignificant beggars. As Devaki said, we're only begging for devotion, for love and affection, not for protection or any mundane situation. Whatever is pleasing to the Lord. If I have to die or if I will live, then this is up to you, but I'm always your eternal servant. So on this day, the day of the manifestation of Sri Varaha, you could say this is also the day of the disappearance of Hiranyaksha. Because of the disappearance of Hiranyaksha, in Srimad Bhagavatam we have received such amazing Jiva Tattva from his elder brother, Hiranyakashipu. I recommend you read it. It's so powerful, the Jiva Tattva that Hiranyakashipu is telling to Hiranyaksha's family after he was killed by the Lord. So, Sri Varahadev manifested in this beautiful form as a boar and killed this demon Hiranyaksha, this very, very powerful demon, and rescued the earth and pleased all of the devotees who are witnessing this beautiful pastime of Veer Ras between the Lord and his devotee in the form of this demon Hiranyaksha. Shri Varahadev Ki Jai. So I just want to see if there are any questions, comments, corrections, adjustments? Jai. Okay. Tomorrow we will observe Sri Nityananda Trayodashi. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful week. So there were a few things I wanted to just reiterate. One thing that really caught my attention. How Varahadev had grown so massive, and then he, with his hoofs, dove straight. So he dove straight into the Garbhodak ocean. What an amazing vision that would be. And even in Srimad Bhagavatam, it was said that because the ocean was divided, it was like the ocean was praying, please don't cut us in half, please be merciful. And he went like that. Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were so powerful, so strong, so steel-framed, that whatever step they would take, the earth would shake. They were so powerful, but they were also so amazing. When I was reading to Sudevi from Srimad Bhagavatam today, she was like, my God, they sound awesome. These demons sound awesome. We look at them and like, oh, they're demons, they're horrible, they're this or that. But actually they were well versed in all Shastra, all Tattva. Hiranyaksha was able to go to the demigods, to so many different places. He directly communicated with Narada Muni and then directly went and found the Supreme Lord of everything. So this is not ordinary demon. He went and found him in the Garbhodak ocean and then challenged him, and they fought. So by this he was able to please the Lord. Although in that mindset he was not thinking, I am doing this to please the Lord. In that mindset he was not doing it. So from that perspective it cannot be considered bhakti, but because of the initial desire, the desire to please the Lord within Vaikuntha, that is bhakti. And by that, they have taken the forms as demons, so that the Lord could experience fighting, because no ordinary demon would be able to fight with the Lord, only his pure devotee. So really there are so many valuable lessons in the pastimes of the Lord. Time is running late now, so we will end here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to remember the beautiful appearance of Sri Varahadev and the disappearance of Hiranyaksha. Yes. Do we have any?
Yes.
Okay. So now, Radhe Radhe Lavanga. Now we're going to say happy birthday to Govinda Rupini.
1 second.
So I'll just sing happy birthday first. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Govinda Rupini. Happy birthday to you. Hare Krishna to you.
I'll just get behind you.
No. Here.
I don't want to sit in front of Thakurji.
Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, dear Govinda Rupini. Hare Krishna to you. You can't even see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay. Yes, I have enough. I think maybe I'll take one more. Okay. So Govinda Rupini is going to kneel down in front of all of the devotees, and we're going to visualize that Srila Gurudev is there with all of the devotees surrounding her. And yes, your hair is going to be full of flower petals. So everyone repeat after me. Mangalam bhavatu.
Mangalam bhavatu.
Gurunishta bhavatu.
Gurunishta bhavatu.
Krishna bhaktir bhavatu.
Krishna bhaktir bhavatu.
Radha dasyam bhavatu.
Radha dasyam bhavatu.
Tell it. So our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, would always tell the birthday person, may you be happy now. May you be happy into the future, in any future life, and all the way into perfection forever. Govinda Rupini Didi ki jai. Happy birthday.
Dandava pranam. Pranam.
Dandavat
And
Pranam.
thank you so much for always being with us, for joining us. She's a senior Srila Prabhupada disciple, her and Banki Bihari Prabhu. And also they would take care of Radha Vinod Bihari Ji when we were traveling and couldn't bring them with us. So we have so much honor and respect and gratitude to her and to them. So.
I hope she's there. Anyway. So, okay. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Gurudev, Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Hari Bol.
Shri Varahadev Ki
Jai.
Jai. So thank you all very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, especially to be able to remember the beautiful pastimes of Shri Varahadev on his day. And Jai and Vijay in the form of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So also we would like to express our deep indebtedness to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to follow the order of our Srila Gurudev, which is our life and soul. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. For us, it is Sri Nityananda Trayodashi. So very beautiful, very big day Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe.
Hare Ji ki
Jai.
Shachinandana Gaur Hari ki
Jai.
Jividyamadamani
Jividyamadamani.
Radhe.
Haribol Jayanti, Haribol Lavang, Haribol devotees.